go to this question from Rambling Ron. If Al Horford gets old, could the Celtics target Kevin Love in 2023 in NBA free agency? And the Celtics over the last decade have shown some interest in Kevin Love. This was more sparked when Danny Ainge was running basketball operations, and Kevin Love was more so in his prime with the Cleveland Cavaliers after LeBron James was with that team. And Kevin Love, even up to this point, he's a pretty solid player, stretch four, who can still give you some buckets, shoot the three, always been a really good rebounder, not a great defender, especially if he gets put into a turnstile defensively. But if Al Horford just ages overnight, Kevin Love could be a decent player to help fill that loss. But Al Horford, he played really good hoop throughout the NBA playoffs and was instrumental for the Celtics' success. So I don't envision him just crumbling overnight. A little bit expensive for sure, but that deal is going to be expiring at some point, and Kevin Love could be interesting. If you want to subscribe to our Celtics channel, it's youtube.com/CelticsTV. With that, I ask you this question. Name a free agent you still want your team to sign. So list your team and then give us a name in the comment section right now. Some pretty solid free agents available. Which one do you want your squad to ink to a deal? Let us know right now. Max McNeil. Should the Celtics bring back Dennis Schroder? I don't think it makes a lot of sense. I think they traded him away for a reason. They realized that this guy was trying to increase his value to land a big deal in NBA free agency, and as of this recording on Wednesday, hasn't happened yet. So they were cool with getting rid of him to bring back Daniel Tice, and that's pretty telling that Dennis Schroder couldn't hold on to a roster spot, or the Celtics didn't want him. The Lakers were happy that he turned down that $84 million contract extension because he didn't sign it, and then they didn't re-sign him in free agency. Does Houston bring him back? He has value certainly as a six-man scorer. I don't think he has value, or the Celtics want him in Boston. This is his question. Do you think Malcolm Brogdon will take the point guard position right away, or will he back up Marcus Smart? If you acquire Malcolm Brogdon, he's going to be, I believe, the starter. Although, look, if you want to move forward with Marcus Smart as your starting PG, that would surprise me, but obviously Boston likes him. He was really good last year, Defensive Player of the Year. I just thought in the playoffs they kind of missed that primary ball handler who's that true experienced point guard. Smart is not that. Makes good decisions, makes bad decisions sometimes too with the basketball. So maybe Marcus Smart off the bench, but if it's Brogdon, I don't know. Boston's thinking they could go with Marcus Smart as a starter and Brogdon coming in off the bench. I'm interested to see what happens there. Len's Handcrafted Wood. If that's your business, go support his business. Will the Celtics add another player? Danilo Gallinari, great value deal. Trading for Malcolm Brogdon, I loved it. By the way, it's Len's Handcrafted Wood Science. So that's his business right there. Will the Celtics add another player? Yeah, I'm not sure, man. I think they're pretty much set. I mean, they didn't really need to do all that much going into this offseason besides maybe find a backup center behind Robert Williams or get a true point guard as compared to Marcus Smart, who is not that. I think he's more of a combo guard, and they were able to fulfill the latter with Malcolm Brogdon. Pop Johnson next up in our mailbag. Who is your top 5 underrated rookies going into the season? Is Keegan Murray underrated because he got selected number 5? Is Benedict Mathurin a little bit underrated? He's been tearing it up in the Summer League alongside Keegan Murray. Those are 2 right there. I think E.J. Liddell can get minutes for the New Orleans Pelicans. I'm thinking of some other player. Jalen Williams, I think, is a really good selection as a 3-and-D guy who could get minutes right away because those types of players, they're needed on an NBA roster. I think that people are sleeping on Jabari Smith. They're ripping him, saying he's going to be a bust. I think he's going to be just fine. So those are some of the players that I'm looking at. How about Colin Gillespie as an undrafted free agent out of Villanova, a guy who also has been playing well for the Nuggets in the Summer League? Now make sure you turn on your notifications here at Chat Sports. Look, cover the NBA a lot here at Chat Sports, but also we're your home for the best NFL coverage. And with training camp coming up in just a couple of weeks, we're going to start to ramp up our NFL coverage and college football as well. So you don't want to miss anything that we're doing, anything that we're cooking up, whether it be a video on demand as we pump out multiple per day, or a live show as we go live a couple times per week. So make sure you turn on those notifications. Therefore, when we do push out a video or go live, you'll be notified. How do you do it? You go to the settings app, scroll down, tap YouTube, tap notifications, and then turn on allow notifications. Therefore, you'll stay in the know with everything that we're doing. Who will win the NBA title next year? Do you think it'll be the Lakers? I don't. Do you think it's going to be another team? If so, let me know who you got in the comment section right now. Jay Fish, can the Suns get Kevin Durant? Yes. Do the Nets want DeAndre Ayton? No. That is really the domino. And if they don't want DeAndre Ayton, they don't think that he can be a franchise pillar, then they're not going to trade away Devin Booker. They're not going to trade away Chris Paul. Can you put together a package of Ayton, Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, and some future picks? I think that's a decent haul for Brooklyn. I also kind of like what Brooklyn's been able to do in free agency. Obviously, you don't have that star, but if you can get a star, that's a pretty legit, well-rounded roster. We start off this mailbag with this question coming in from the Gold Eagle 99. It's a $10 super chat. I predict Chet Holmgren will average 17 points per game with 1.5 blocks and be top 5 in Rookie of the Year award voting. What say you, Chase? I think 17 points per game is a little bit lofty. At Gonzaga, he was about 14 points per game. I do think that he could average more than 1.5 blocks. Now, I get scared about Chet going on the low block against a big physical player like Joel Embiid. We saw what Kenneth Lofton was able to do, put his shoulder into him, and Chet Holmgren really struggled physically going up against a big, beefy player like that. But what he lacks in size and weight and strength, he makes up for it with a ridiculously long wingspan. So he's able to make up for it by, even if he gets back down and loses some position down low, he has those really long arms. So around 4 blocks per game with the Zags last year in his freshman campaign, I think it could be realistically around 2. He has such a great knack for protecting the rim. You can watch our NBA content on YouTube. You can also catch it on Rumble as well. Make sure you give us a follow at rumble.com/NBA now. We're talking free and uncensored content, sports, news, politics, tech, and business outside of what we do here at Chat Sports. You can find that from other places as well. We continue to grow the platforms that you use, so make sure you give us a follow. It's rumble.com/NBA now.